next type of COVID-19 vaccine is inactivated vaccines. Inactivated vaccines are actually quite simple. In fact, they're the method that most people associate with vaccines in general. Well, what are inactivated vaccines, you may ask? Well, inactivated vaccines contain a SARS-CoV-2 virus that has been either killed or it has been modified in some way that it cannot reproduce anymore, and thus it cannot actually infect us. How is this done? Well, this is done through the work of either heat, radiation, or chemicals. Any of these three can inactivate SARS-CoV-2. So this inactivated virus is then injected into our body. And though it cannot actually, reproduce and thus cause COVID-19, it still has spike proteins attached to its surface. And these spike proteins act as antigens because they are foreign particles. So thus, these antigens will react in our body as any other antigen would. They would initiate the humoral immune response. If you want some more information on the humoral immune response and how it works, I would check out my video on the adaptive immune system. So once the humoral immune response happens thanks to the antigens on the inactivated SARS-CoV-2 virus, B plasma cells and B memory cells will form. B plasma cells will secrete antibodies that will then bind to the spike proteins on the inactivated SARS-CoV-2, thus neutralizing them. On the other hand, B memory cells will store these antibodies. Why are they stored? Well, now that you've taken the vaccine, let's say if you were to ever be infected by the actual SARS-CoV-2 virus, then we'd already have the antibodies ready to attack the SARS-CoV-2 spike proteins and bind to them, and thus neutralizing SARS-CoV-2 and preventing them from making us very sick. So that's the inactivated vaccine.
So what are some examples of inactivated COVID-19 vaccines? Well, there are a lot of inactivated COVID-19 vaccines that have been approved as of right now. The first one is CoronaVac, which was developed by Sinovac in China and has been approved in these countries. BBI-BP CoreV was developed by the Beijing Institute of Biological Products and Sinopharm in China as well, and has been approved in all of these countries. Covaxin was developed by Bharat Biotech, ICMR, and Ocugen in India. It has been approved in these countries. WIBP CoreV was developed by the Wuhan Institute of Biological Products and Sinopharm in, you guessed it, China again. So far, it has only been approved in China. Covovac was developed by the Chumakov Federal Scientific Center for Research and Development of Immune and Biological Products in Russia. It has only been approved in Russia as of right now. Finally, Kazvac, also known as Kaz-Covidin, was developed by the Research Institute for Biological Safety Problems in Kazakhstan. This vaccine has only been approved in Kazakhstan, though.
Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you learned a lot about inactivated vaccines. Check out the next video to learn more about viral vector vaccines.